niche or not to niche? That's one of the questions we're going to answer in this video, and we're going to answer a lot more regarding how to come up with a great channel name for your channel. So stick around and we'll get started right now. As a new YouTuber trying to come up with a channel name, and you may already have one in mind, there are a couple of directions you can go. One is to simply use your own name. Casey Neistat has done that very successfully. Peter McKinnon has done the same thing. However, you may want to use a hybrid name, like your name and the niche that you're currently in. However, there may be some danger in the future if you do that, because if you start out making baking videos or cooking videos, and a year or so down the road your direction or your focus changes and you decide, I don't want to make baking videos anymore, I want to make race car videos. Well, if you've named your channel Candy's Cookies, you're going to have a hard time making race car videos under that channel name. So be very careful when you make that choice and don't limit yourself. The other thing you can do is to come up with more of a brand name. Sean Cannell has done that with his Think Media channel. And one of the reasons he did that, as he explained, is that his name, Sean, can be spelled S-E-A-N or S-H-A-W-N. And his last name is anybody's guess on how many N's and how many L's are in it. So Think Media was a better choice for him, and I think it's worked out quite well. Now, the thing to remember is to keep it clear and keep it concise. If you come up with a channel name that is not easy to say, not easy to understand when it's spoken, and you have no idea how to spell it, that's not the best choice. Also, don't include any, punctuation or numbers like your name 456 or something like that, or a lot of symbols, asterisk, exclamation points, things like that. That's a no-no. That's going to confuse people, and you don't want your viewer to be confused. The bottom line in selecting a channel name is the old KISS principle. And we all remember the KISS principle, right? And since we were talking about niches a moment ago, it's important that your niche is the right, how do I say this, bandwidth. Don't make it too wide. Don't make it too narrow. For instance, if you are a car detailer, you love to wax and wash and detail cars, clean the interior, fix flaws, etc., and you have a Corvette. If you name your channel Bill's Corvette Detailing, you are going to immediately eliminate all those potential viewers out there that have a Mustang or a Firebird or a 57 Chevy. A better option would just be Bill's Detailing, or Detailing by Bill, or Bill's Detailing World, or whatever you can come up with. You have to be creative, but don't be overly creative so that you make it difficult for the viewer to understand the point you're trying to make. By the same token, don't make it overly wide and all-encompassing. For instance, if you have a video, a YouTube channel about baking, that's going to include everything from cakes to pies to cobblers to tarts to cookies to candy. You might want to be a little more narrowly focused on that, so that if you're especially good at creating candy, for example, you could have a channel called Donna's Candies or Candy's Candies or whatever title, whatever name you want to use. It doesn't have to be your name. And you can do a video each time on a different kind of candy. That will give you a much more focused audience. Your subscribers, when they subscribe, they will be coming back. They will be looking for the next video about candy because they want to learn how to make a different kind of candy. So don't be overly wide. Don't be overly narrow. Utilize the KISS principle. Decide whether you want to niche or not to niche. And then, after you get all of that done, make yourself a list of about 40 or 50 or 75 names that, first of all, that you like. Secondly, that fit correctly with your channel, that actually work with the niche or the non-niche that you're going into. And go through them. After you get them all, brainstorm, write down as many as you can think of that sound good at the time. Let it sit for a day, go back the next day and look at it again and scratch out any that you don't like. Give it to your spouse or your brother or your mother or whoever and have them look at it and see which ones they don't like and maybe put a check mark by the ones they do like. And then narrow it all down to a new list where you've got, maybe a dozen or less that you would be happy with. Go to YouTube and type those names in one at a time. If anything comes up with a channel already having that name, scratch it out. And by the time you get through, you maybe have 2 or 3 that there is no YouTube channel with that name. Then go to Google or whatever search engine you use and do the same thing. If a website comes up with one of those names, scratch it out. And eventually you will narrow it down to where you are the only name that comes up when it's searched for on the internet. And that's the name you want to use. The reason you want to be unique in owning that particular name is because at some point your channel is going to grow large enough where you'll want to do a website, a Facebook page, a Twitter account, etc. And you want to be able to use that same name in all of those cases if possible. If you can't do it, that's okay too, but mainly YouTube and Google search, you want to be the only person that comes up when someone types in that name. And I think that's it for now. I hope you'll leave a question or a comment down below. If you're thinking of a name or a niche, I hope you'll leave a comment about that and tell us what you're planning on doing with your channel. And I think that's it. So until I speak with you again, even after that, in life and in YouTube land, it's very important that you stay focused.